Super Bowl runner-ups in the rematch the next season. Nobody wins except when the Eagles won against the Chiefs. Are the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and the great Travis Kelce being underestimated?
Unquestionably, and it's proven on the screen by the fact that it says Eagles -1.5 at Kansas City.
Yep.
Being a home underdog is wildly insulting. It's happened once before in Patrick's career. Now, it was to the Bills. They did lose that game. But and this really isn't, this part of it is not a Chiefs-specific point. I will get Chiefs-specific points. It's what I said during Nick's picks on Friday about the Bills. Josh Allen and the Bills were a home underdog, and it was wildly insulting. If you are one of the premier teams in the league with one of the premier quarterbacks in the league, you should not be a home underdog. Typically, that has been the case. Like, Josh hadn't been a home dog in years since he'd been Josh Allen. Mm-hmm. Patrick's been a home dog once prior in his life, or in the pros. Yep. And here's the other piece of it. That's the generic piece to the Chiefs. I just want to remind America before the Super Bowl rematch who the Chiefs are. They have made 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls, the only team ever to do that. They have the most wins of any team in football history over 7 years. We are in the midst of that. They are in the midst of the second longest conference championship streak ever, the second longest division championship streak ever, and the third longest double-digit win streak ever. I know we are a whole 1 game into this season that they didn't look great in, but the idea that we have flipped so quickly from, if the Chiefs win this game, they're the greatest team of all time, to the Chiefs deserve to be home dogs to an Eagles team that did not look great in week 1 is an outrage.
That's just a whole bunch of nonsense. And I'm going to defend the Kansas City Chiefs here, but we got to just keep it real. We got to be honest here. This is a different year. So saying they went to this many Super Bowls and this and that, that has nothing to do with this year. Even Hurt says Chiefs are a new team. We're a new team. This has nothing to do with the Chiefs going to a Super Bowl in 2019 and 2020 and 22 and 23. It's 2025. If the majority of the team was the exact same and they're all playing at their same levels, then I could understand. But the whole who's being favored, who's not, and Nick knows this, it's just math. It's just math. It's just math, okay? Like it's just calculated math. It's not trying to figure out actually like who's really better and who deserves this. Nothing to do with deserving. It's just math. Okay? And it's just, the Chiefs are injured. Rashee Rice isn't playing. Xavier Worthy, at least to my knowledge right now, isn't playing, or might, if he is, not, potentially going to be fully 100%. So then that's how you get situations like this. And when you pointed out the Bills and the Ravens, guess what? The Ravens were they were winning that game. They lost that game. They blew that game. Okay, so like the spread was probably right. Honestly, if anything, it was wrong because at that point it looked like the Ravens were about to just dominate and just run them out of the building. So it's not. And again, how the Bills were favored, and then the Bills ended up winning, and so like they had it right that time. So it's just math. It's not a whole referendum on the Kansas City Chiefs franchise or Patrick Mahomes. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. And so it's to pretend like this is the most disrespectful thing. That's not how this works. It's not how this works. And the last time we saw the Eagles play the Chiefs, they did destroy them. So to act like the Eagles don't deserve any benefit of the doubt, any credit whatsoever. If it was at home and the Eagles were like -7 or something, yeah, then I could understand. But that's not the case here. And the Chiefs are already dealing with injuries. And people are concerned that Travis Kelce's not going to have a bounce back year this year. right? Like, so, and they are concerned that this defense isn't as great as it has been in years past. Because again, this has nothing to do with 2018, 2019, 2020. Like, it has nothing to do with that. And you want to say, oh, and the Eagles didn't even look that good. You're defending the Chiefs saying, hey, I still think they're great. And they didn't look that good against the Chargers. And so any explanation that you want to give as to why the Chiefs look a little lackluster but still are going to be great, then you have to offer it to the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's not like the Philadelphia Eagles are just some random team that just appeared on the map here. They've been to 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowls. They beat the team that you said was going to be the greatest team in NFL history. So they don't deserve any respect at all? Of course they do. And especially if this team is injured and banged up, it makes sense. It makes sense. Now, with that being said, I do believe that the Chiefs are being underestimated. Like, absolutely. Even though the spread is what it is, it still seems like a lot of people are just pretty much expecting, oh, the Eagles should be able to just go to Arrowhead and just win this game easy, win this game convincingly, win this game comfortably. And I don't necessarily see it that way. It's harder for me to evaluate a Kansas City Chiefs team when they're not full strength. When I don't know even if is Xavier Worthy playing, yes or no. Rashee Rice is obviously suspended. Who the heck is Travis Kelce in 2025? I know who he was in 2018. I know who he was in 22. I know who he was in 23. I know who he was in 24. I have no idea who Travis Kelce is in 2025. No idea, right? None. But I do believe, though, that people are too quick to bury the Chiefs. And the annoying thing, though, is, and this is what Nick is pretty much creating, trying to pretend like it's unique to the Chiefs or unique to this situation or that it's so insulting, and they do it with every team. Nick did it to the Philadelphia Eagles just last week. Okay, the Philadelphia Eagles dominate in the NFC Championship game, dominate in the Super Bowl. And then week 1, they beat the Dallas Cowboys, a division rival. Jalen Hurts plays great, and I've seen enough. They're not going to be able to repeat. And now we're going to cry that the Eagles are favored to win this game when the Chiefs are already banged up and they're missing their wide receiver 1 and 2. Like, really? How does that make sense? Everyone's so quick to bury the 49ers. It's over for them. Everyone's so quick to bury the Detroit Lions. It's over for them. Everyone's always so quick to bury every team. That's how this works. That's how this works. That's why when one team wins a game, we go, they're winning the Super Bowl. When they lose the game, they're like, it's over. People are burying the Baltimore Ravens right now. They're burying the Baltimore Ravens. This is what they do. All they do is lose. They'll never win a big game. Nick himself. So we don't have to now cry and complain that this is somehow unique to the Kansas City Chiefs, because it's not. It's absolutely, positively not. We consistently do it with every single team. I guarantee you, Minnesota Vikings were a game away from being the number 1 seed. If they lost against the Chicago Bears, they're buried. J.J. McCarthy, not good. Should have stuck with Sam Darnold. Caleb Williams has a average game. First game of the season. He's not good. Chicago Bears going backwards. They're not good. Detroit Lions, a little bit of a rocky first game with 2 new coordinators. They're done. No chance. Packers win 1 game. They're the number 1 team in the NFL. They're winning the Super Bowl. It's like, whoa. Talk about whiplash over here, man. Like, where am I right now? Everyone does this. I try my best not to do it, but you certainly see it in the media all the time. So we don't have to act like this is disrespectful. We can discuss and say that people are underestimating the Kansas City Chiefs, because I believe that they are. And even in this video, and of course, right, like I'm literally out here defending the Kansas City Chiefs, saying that they're being underestimated and they need not be. But then people are still going to be like, you just hate the Chiefs. Even though I literally posted a video the other day defending the Chiefs start to finish, where Colin Cowherd was like, oh, if they start 0-2, the chance of them making the playoffs is so minimal, and I was like, those percentages that we use mean nothing to me because it doesn't involve Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Spags, and you're using data that involves Kirk Cousins and Gardner Minshew and an array of other quarterbacks throughout the decades that when they start 0-2, yes, they have a very rough chance of getting to the playoffs. But if we put the better quarterbacks and the better coaches, they will have a higher chance. And I made that whole video. Go watch it. But like what I'm not going to do is just pretend that this is somehow unique or special to the Kansas City Chiefs when just this year alone, everyone is burying all of these other teams that have been great for years now. Not just like a random one-off team that was like kind of good last year. Teams that have established themselves for years. So it's okay. And again, and I'll just end here. This is like such a sleight of hand, magic trick. Talking about the Chiefs have done this for 5 of the last 6 and 6 of the last 7 and it's just like that means nothing. We're talking about this year, and if the Chiefs still had Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce still balling, and that defense really swallowed up Justin Herbert, but they still just lost, and it was just a tough, wonky game, then I could 1,000% understand. But that's not the case. It's obviously not the case, okay? We know that. So to try to pretend that the spread and stuff like this can't be flexible, it has to be. It's basic math with money on the line. Literally, it's the money line. So it's just crazy. Nick said that it was insulting and ridiculous that the Kansas City Chiefs weren't favored to win the Super Bowl when it was those final 4 teams. When it was just the Bills, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Commanders. And he went on a whole thing, and I said, it's just math. What are we talking about here? And he freaked out and said, this is ridiculous. This is so disrespectful. The only team to go back-to-back in a century, all this type of stuff. And then what happened? They didn't win the Super Bowl, and they got rocked. Let's all just chill. It'll be okay. I promise. I think we'll probably see a pretty competitive game this weekend. I'm excited for this game. I would actually be shocked. I would be stunned. I'd be blown away. I would be insert a bunch of handful of other words. If the Eagles win convincingly and comfortably, if we get a repeat of that Super Bowl, I'd be like, whoa, what the heck is happening now? I would be like, I don't know what's going on with the Eagles, and I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs. I would be like, man. And I would still defer, even if the Chiefs got rocked, I would still say, well, this is so far from the team that we expect to see as the weeks unfold, specifically, again, because of Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, etc., etc. And if the Chiefs end up winning this game, I'll point to, the Chiefs are really resilient, obviously a great team, Andy, Spags, Mahomes, and then I'll say, yeah, and the Eagles need to get their act together. They don't seem to be playing at their highest level right now. So there's conclusions to draw no matter how this unfolds. So it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be a really, really, really interesting week 2 game. But we don't have to pretend that it's something that it's not. We don't have to evoke history here of just, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's just, 2019 has nothing to do with trying to figure out who should be favored in 2025. Okay? Any type of streak has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything. And Nick knows that 100%. As someone who spends a lot of time in Vegas and poker and all that, he knows that. He knows that better than anyone here. He knows that better than me. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Kansas City Chiefs being underestimated and disrespected? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.